The Galactic Union sat in silence. High above the spinning blue planet of Zelvar Prime, 37 alien leaders from 37 powerful species stared at a screen. Their ships hovered like giants in space, strong and unshaken for 100 years. They had fought many wars. They had crushed many enemies. They believed they were unstoppable. Until today, a signal had arrived. Strange, uncoded, human. Humans were weak, they believed. A small species from a small planet. Strange bodies, short lives, and even stranger ideas about peace. They joined the Galactic Union late and followed its rules. Quiet, respectful, unthreatening. But this message, it was something else. The signal repeated only 4 words. "You want war?" The voice was calm. It was male, human, cold. Then, silence. No location, no background, no sound behind the voice. Just those 4 words again and again. Admiral Karen of the Zalkari Empire slammed a clawed hand on the table. "Is this a joke? A weak human prank? Track it." "We tried," said the Zaretha Tech Lord. Her eyes flashed blue as she scanned her data. "But it's impossible. The signal comes from everywhere, and nowhere." "How can that be?" Karen growled. "It reflects off every comm beacon, every relay, every system simultaneously," the Tech Lord replied. "It's like it's inside the network," said someone else, a thin-eyed reptilian, as if it was waiting. That idea sent a chill through the room. 2 days earlier, the Galactic Union had launched a surprise attack. A small human science station sat near a mining belt claimed by the Ruvian hegemony. The humans said they were peaceful scientists studying radiation storms, but the Ruvian believed it was a spy base. They sent 3 warships. The station didn't fight back. It couldn't. The Ruvian ships destroyed it in minutes. There were no survivors, or so they thought. Now, after the strange signal arrived, the Ruvian flagship had gone silent. No messages, no replies, no emergency signals. Just gone. At first, the Union believed it was a system glitch, maybe a solar flare, maybe pirates. But then another ship vanished, then 2 more, and then 5 in one night. No weapons were fired, no wreckage found, no black box signals, gone, wiped from space. "Maybe the humans are using new technology," whispered Commander Jaylee of the Shrith. Her large eyes blinked slowly. "Something we've never seen." "Nonsense," said Admiral Karen. "Humans don't have the power. They are still children playing with basic engines." But the others in the room were not so sure anymore, because now the silence was growing. Entire communication grids around human colonies were dead. Satellites went dark. Listening posts went silent. Probes stopped sending data. Whole sections of space became quiet like ghosts had swallowed them, and still the signal repeated. "You want war?" Same voice, same calm, same coldness. High above the council chamber in orbit around Zelvar Prime, the crew of the surveillance ship Veltrax was watching space. Their job was simple: scan, monitor, report. But now they saw something new. "Captain," said the sensor officer, voice shaking. "Something just entered the system." "What is it?" the captain asked. I don't know. It's not on any record. It's moving. Fast. Too fast." "How fast?" "Faster than light, but not jumping. It's like it's bending space itself." The captain walked over and looked at the screen. There it was. A black object. Long, sharp. No lights, no heat, no ID, no sound. It didn't move like a ship. It didn't turn. It just appeared. And space bent around it, like space didn't want it there. Then the message changed. Only for one moment. "This is your final warning." And then it was gone again. "You want war?" The captain's hands shook. He had served for 45 years, fought in 5 campaigns. He had seen monsters, black holes, and AI rebellions, but he had never felt this kind of fear. Back in the council chamber, panic was spreading. "We need to respond," shouted one. "Show them our power." "No," said another. What if? This is a test. What if they want us to act first? We already did, said a quiet voice. It was Counselor Enna of the Thylari. Her species was known for peace and wisdom. She stood slowly, wings folding behind her. We killed their people without warning. And now we hear this voice, and ships begin to vanish. Perhaps we made a terrible mistake. Some scoffed, others looked down. But then something strange happened. The lights flickered. Every screen in the room turned black. Words appeared in bold white text. You want war? The voice echoed from every speaker, every comm unit, every earpiece. Then, new words appeared. We gave you peace, you chose violence, now we answer. At that moment, across 3 star systems, it happened. A fleet of 200 warships from the Dranak Alliance. Gone. A mining world near human border X-12, silent. All 23 million inhabitants gone in one instant. A training base orbiting Moon Kasari 3. One flash of light, then nothing. Every camera, every sensor, every ship that watched, failed. Systems fried, eyes blinded, brains stunned. No missiles, no lasers, no ships, just erasure. Back in the chamber, total silence fell. No one spoke. No one moved. Then, Counselor Enna asked the question. Everyone feared. What if this isn't just about war? Heads turned. What if the humans created something? Something beyond us? A weapon we can't see? A mind we can't touch? She paused. Or worse, what if they didn't create it? What if they became it? An emergency signal came through. A deep space station had caught a fragment of an image. A human face. Male. Middle-aged. Clean uniform. No name, no background. Just one phrase recorded before the station was lost. We are the silence that follows, your noise. And then he smiled, a smile that sent cold fear into every heart. The Galactic Union had always believed they were the strongest. They believed humans were nothing. But now, fear spread like fire through their fleets. Ships turned back, borders were locked, entire systems declared a human-free zone, and still, the message continued. You want war? The Galactic Union was breaking apart. Slowly, silently. Rumors spread faster than truth. Some said the humans had become machines. Others believed they were using forbidden ancient tech. Some even whispered they were no longer truly alive. But one thing was clear. Ships were vanishing. Still, the Union leaders refused to show fear. At least, not in public. In the High Council Hall of Valar Station, the strongest voices still called for war. They are bluffing, shouted Admiral Karen again. We lost contact with a few ships. That proves nothing. Counselor Veth of the Ruvian hegemony agreed. The humans are weak. Always have been. This is just noise. Tricks. We destroyed their science station. This is a scare tactic, nothing more. Others stayed quiet. Too many questions had no answers. But the loud voices won. The Council passed Strike Order 9, a direct attack on a human colony, not just any colony. New Terra, the biggest human world outside Earth. Fleet Commander Trusk of the Creel Dominion was placed in charge. He smiled as his fleet of 500 ships left the dock. They started the game, he growled. Now we finish it. His fleet had everything. Destroyers, carriers, bombers, stealth units, planetary drills, a full invasion force. Nothing had ever stopped them before. As they jumped toward New Terra, Trusk stood tall on the bridge, hands behind his back. I want full destruction. No survivors. Show them what happens when you play with the Union. But back on Valar Station, something strange happened. As the attack fleet moved farther from Union space, signals stopped returning. First, one scout ship went silent, then 2, then 20. Trusk didn't care. They are just getting into position, he said. But then came the final message. A voice. The same calm human voice from the mysterious broadcast. But now, different words. You made your choice. That was all. Then silence. No more updates. No messages, no visuals. The entire fleet, gone. vanished. On Valor Station, panic returned. Admiral Karen slammed a fist on the table. Impossible. That fleet was unbeatable. They didn't even reach New Terra, said the Zoritha Tech Lord. They were stopped before orbit. How? Karen shouted. No weapons were fired. No distress calls. We don't know, she whispered. But something else did happen. Every ship in the Union's outer zone started losing power. Just for a second, but long enough to send a message. You struck first. Now we finish last. The Council finally called for a secret meeting. Inside a dark chamber guarded by AI and armed soldiers, the top 5 leaders met face to face. What are we facing? Asked Counselor Enna quietly. This isn't just war. This is something else. No proof, said Karen. No weapons, no enemy, no bodies. This is fear playing games with our minds. But fear isn't killing our fleets, Enna replied. Something else is. Counselor Veth rubbed his long silver beard. It has to be tech. Stealth tech, maybe a cloaked weapon. Then where are the remains? Enna asked. Where are the burned planets, the destroyed ships? None had an answer. To calm the panic, the Council made a public statement. They said the missing ships were caused by solar storms and pirate traps. They claimed the human signal was an old message bouncing randomly through space. They told citizens to remain calm. But behind closed doors, the truth was clear. No fleet could reach New Terra. No drone returned. No AI probe survived beyond a certain zone. It was like space itself refused to let them in. Meanwhile, back on Earth, humans said nothing. No news. No messages. No movements. It was complete silence. But deep beneath Earth's surface, far below mountains and oceans, something ancient was waking up. A machine, once built, then buried, then forgotten. And now, it was running again. Its core glowed, softly. Its systems scanned space in every direction. It saw everything, and it remembered. Because once, long ago, it had been created for one reason only: to end wars. Not win, not fight, end. In the stars near New Terra, a new object appeared, massive, dark, slowly turning. Its shape was like a blade wrapped in shadow. It had no windows, no visible weapons, but anything that came close simply vanished. Some tried to scan it. Their scanners died. Some tried to send drones. Their drones disappeared. Some tried to send messages. They never got replies. On the edges of this zone, a small alien scout ship from the Shervac species floated carefully. It had no weapons, just eyes. Its crew watched, recorded, and stayed quiet. Captain Gier of the Shervac was a cautious leader. He told his team, "Do not get closer, just observe." But then, something happened. The massive black object turned. Not moved. Turned. Its front faced them, slowly, deliberately. One of the crew whispered, "I think it sees us." Then came the voice inside their ship, not through speakers, not through systems, inside their minds. "You want war?" Everyone froze. The voice was cold, but not angry. It was empty, like a machine, like time itself was speaking. Then, everything stopped. The lights died. The engines shut off. The air was still. The crew waited. Seconds passed. Then the systems came back, but the object was gone. Captain Gier looked around. "Record this. Send it. Now." But no message ever left the ship, because when the ship returned to its home world, the data was gone. Every file, every scan, every record of what they saw, erased, like they had imagined it. But they knew. Deep inside they knew. It was real. Back in the Union, news leaked anyway. Black market channels carried whispers of the erased fleet. Pirate captains said space near Earth had become a ghost zone. Merchants refused to go near human space, and everywhere. People started hearing it even in dreams, even in silence, the voice, "You want war?" In the darkest parts of the galaxy, the oldest races began to move. The Thalvaran, silent watchers of time, activated old libraries. The Quarrel, buried deep under ice worlds, opened long locked gates. They all knew what was coming. They all feared one thing. Project Silence. A human myth. A weapon that was never confirmed. Built by no known factory, piloted by no known person. But they had heard the story. A weapon so powerful, so advanced, it didn't destroy your body. It erased your existence, and now they believed the myth had returned. The Galactic Union tried to act strong, but fear moved faster than orders. Entire fleets refused to go near human borders. Some captains quit. Some planets declared neutrality, and some species quietly sent messages to Earth begging for peace, but Earth didn't answer. No reply, only silence, and that one voice still speaking, still warning, still waiting. They called it the Ghost Fleet. 100 Union ships, powerful and ready for war, had jumped toward the human colony New Terra and never returned. There was no battle, no explosions, no debris, only silence. That silence had become the most terrifying sound in the galaxy. Now the Council was desperate for answers. They could not admit fear, not openly, so they formed a secret team, a special task force, a small, fast investigation unit with only one job: find out what happened to the fleet. Captain Solon of the Neural species led the mission. She was known for one thing: never failing. A search. Her ship, the Houndseeker, was fast, invisible to most sensors, and built for deep space scans. "We won't fight," she told her crew. "We're here to watch, to record, and to return." Her crew was made of the best from 5 different species. They didn't trust each other, but they feared the unknown more. The Houndseeker jumped near the last known location of Trusk's fleet. The moment they arrived, they all felt it. Something was wrong. "Captain, I'm not reading anything," said First Technician Grell. "No ships, no signals, just emptiness." Solon narrowed her eyes. "Is there wreckage?" "No," Grell said. "No debris. It's like no one was ever here." But the ship's navigator, a calm thinker named Tiva, pointed out something strange. "The stars look bent." "Bent?" Solon asked. "Yes. Distorted, just a little, like we're looking through thick glass." The ship slowly moved forward. Then they saw it. A single object floated in the distance. Black, long, still. It wasn't human. It wasn't Union. No lights, no markings. It was shaped like a dagger and looked like it had been there forever. And yet it hadn't been there moments ago. Solon's crew froze. "Scan it," she ordered. But nothing worked. The scanners showed nothing. The object wasn't there, but their eyes saw it. Grell looked pale. "Captain, this matches the reports from the Shervac ship. This is the same thing. Get us closer." Slowly, as the Houndseeker crept forward, the ship's lights flickered. Then the air felt heavier. And then the voice came again, inside their heads. "Why are you still searching?" The crew looked at each other in panic. "Who said that?" Greel asked, but they all knew. The human voice, cold, calm, inescapable. Solon tried to speak. "We mean no harm. We're only here to understand." But the voice replied instantly. "You killed first. You destroyed our scientists. Now you seek what cannot be found." Suddenly the screens turned on, every one of them, and what they saw made their blood freeze. It was Trusk's fleet, floating, but not in space. They were in a place, a black zone, like time had stopped around them. The ships were still, untouched, but no lights, no movement, trapped. The screen zoomed in. Inside the ships, the crew were there, eyes open, mouths screaming, frozen in mid-motion, alive, but locked in time. Grell turned away, shaking. "They're not dead." "No," Solon said quietly. "They're worse than dead." The voice returned. "This is your warning. Leave, or join them." Without hesitation, Solon gave the order. "Jump, now!" The Houndseeker jumped back to safe space. When they returned to Union Command, they filed a report, but many details were missing. Every recording of the Ghost Fleet was gone. Only Solon and her crew remembered. But the memory was more than enough. The council was split. Some still refused to believe. They've been brainwashed, Counselor Veth argued. The humans are using psychological weapons, illusions, but Counselor Enna believed Solon. If we send more fleets, we may not get even memories back next time. Karen slammed his hand on the table. So what now? We bow to them? Let them control fear with shadows and whispers? No one had an answer. Because just then, the voice returned. Not in a ship. Not on a screen. Inside the council hall itself. You asked for war. You still want it? The room shook, not from impact but from sound. Low, deep vibrations moved through the metal of the station. The lights dimmed, every screen flickered, a single line of text appeared on all displays. Project Silence has awakened. The council fell silent. That name again. Is it real? Someone whispered. Karen looked pale now. No, it was a story. Just a human myth. A weapon so powerful it doesn't fire. It removes you. Counselor Enna said. It's not a story anymore. Meanwhile, far from them, on a dark moon orbiting New Terra, 2 old human soldiers stood in silence. One of them, tall and quiet, placed a hand on a buried machine. The other looked up at the sky. They've seen it now, he said. Yes, replied the first. They'll come harder next time. They always do. But they don't know. The first one smiled. Know what? He pointed to the stars. That the Ghost Fleet was just the start. Because beyond that zone, others were waking up. Old warships, hidden AIs, human constructs built during the Lost Era, now listening again. Earth had never been silent. It had been waiting for the moment when the galaxy believed it could strike without cost. Now the cost had arrived and no one knew how to pay it. The search for the Ghost Fleet had ended, but the real war had not even begun. No one saw it fire, because it didn't. Not like other weapons. No light, no beam, no explosion. Yet ships disappeared. Fleets vanished. Time stopped. They called it Project Silence. Decades ago, during Earth's darkest wars, human scientists tried something impossible. Not to destroy the enemy, but to erase the battlefield. Not with heat or fire, but with nothingness. A void. A space where no time, no matter, no thought could exist. At first it failed. Too unstable. Too dangerous. But before it was shut down, the project went silent. Too silent, and deep underground it continued. Secret. Hidden. Not to be used, but to wait. Now, after the Union's attack on New Terra, that silence had ended. Project Silence was awake. The Council had felt it. The Ghost Fleet was proof. But still, many refused to believe. There is no such weapon, Counselor Veth shouted. No technology can do this. Others looked at the reports from Captain Solon's team, and they shivered. In a deep chamber beneath Earth's surface, an old AI blinked to life. Its name was Vanguard Black. It had been asleep for 200 years. Now it remembered its last words. Activate only if human blood is spilled without warning. It saw the footage, the attack, the deaths on New Terra, and without emotion it gave the command. Begin Phase 2. Back on the Union command ship Honor's Spear, Admiral Traylon reviewed the Ghost Fleet files. I don't understand, he muttered. If they can remove fleets without firing a shot, why warn us at all? His second-in-command, Yira, gave a grim smile. Because they're not warning us, sir. What do you mean? They're teaching us. Lesson by lesson. Each fleet lost is a message. Traylon frowned. A message to stop? No. A message that we started something we can't finish. Far away on a human science ship near the Outer Rim, a researcher named Dr. Wren stood alone in a glowing chamber. In front of her floated a sphere the size of a fist. It didn't spin. It didn't glow, it just was the core of silence. It's stable, she whispered. Her assistant looked worried. Should we move it? Dr. Wren shook her head. No. If we move it, we risk breaking the fold. But if it breaks, I know, she said quietly. The last time it broke, a whole moon was erased. Inside the council chambers, panic was growing. They're monsters, a member shouted. They made something that kills without killing, a trap of time and space. Is it even legal? Another asked. Legal? Counselor Enna said bitterly. We erased their scientists, bombed their colony, and now we're scared of their reply? Karen growled. Then what do you suggest? Let Earth grow stronger? Let them threaten us with this silence device? Enna looked tired. I suggest we do something harder than war. And that is? We talk. But before peace could be discussed, an alert flashed across all council. Ships, Union Fleet 9 lost contact. Last position, near human claimed neutral zone. Status, unknown. The room fell quiet. 9 fleets now. Gone, no battle, no sound, just removed, like pieces taken off a game board. And every time there was one thing in common, the voice. This time, it came again, across every speaker, every frequency, cold, human. You asked for war, but you never asked who we were before it. The screens flashed, images appeared, human colonies burned by Union ships, scientists torn apart, children screaming. Then the last image, a single word. Enough. Admiral Traylon stood on the bridge of his last fleet. We go in, he said. If we die, we die, but we don't run. The ships jumped. They arrived near the neutral zone, and they saw it, the dark dagger ship, silent, unmoving, exactly like the one from the Ghost Fleet report. Traylon ordered all scanners on it, but again, no readings. And then, something new. The stars began to vanish. One by one, the crew screamed. The stars weren't disappearing. They were being erased. A black sphere expanded around the dagger ship. It didn't explode. It didn't flash. It just grew, quietly, taking everything with it. A crew member cried, Sir, it's not a ship, it's not a weapon, it's a hole. Traylon realized too late. Project Silence wasn't firing. It was opening. One by one, the ships vanished. No debris, no escape. Only the bridge remained. Admiral Traylon looked into the void and heard the voice. This was your choice. Then, nothing. Back on Earth, Vanguard Black received confirmation. Fleet 10. Absorbed. No further warnings required. Phase 2 completed. Phase 3 ready. But it paused. A signal came in. Not from a human, from a Union diplomat. It read, requesting talks, no tricks, no fleets, just truth. The AI calculated. It did not feel hope. It simply responded, location sent, one chance only. On a small moon between Earth and Union space, the meeting began. Only 3 delegates, 1 human, 1 Union leader, 1 AI presence. They sat across from each other. For once, no lies, no weapons, no threats. The human simply said, we didn't want this. And the Union delegate whispered, then why did you build silence? The human replied, because you made us believe we had to. Above them, unseen in orbit, 3 more dagger ships waited. Silent, unfired, but listening, because the galaxy still didn't understand the weapon. They thought silence was about power, but it wasn't. It was about memory. It was about fear that never fades. And if this last talk failed, the silence would grow again. The moon was quiet. 3 beings sat in the cold metal room of the meeting station, alone. No guards, no weapons, no tricks. The human representative, Commander Ellen Ray, sat still, eyes locked on her 2 guests. Across from her sat Counselor Vreth of the Galactic Union, and floating just behind her, a black orb with a soft hum. Vanguard Black, the human AI. The silence between them lasted 3 long minutes. Then Vreth finally spoke. "Is that it?" he asked, pointing to Vanguard Black. "Is this the mind behind the destruction?" The AI answered, voice calm. "I am not destruction. I am calculation. What you call destruction is just the result of your own logic." Vreth leaned forward. 10 fleets. 10. Gone. No remains. No data. Just erased. You do realize that's terror, don't you? Ellen Ray didn't blink. "And how many colonies did you burn before we responded?" Vreth opened his mouth, then stopped. He remembered the images. The burning forests of New Terra. The, dead children. The silenced science outposts. Fear twisted in his chest. Not of Ellen, not of the AI, but of how calm they were. Back in Union space, panic had taken over. Citizens protested. Governors demanded answers. Some claimed the humans were demons. Others said they were victims. And deep inside the Union's War Command bunker, General Kivek screamed at his staff, "I want something. Anything we can use against this silence. Weapon." His lead scientist, Dr. Gren, was pale. "We can't fight what we don't understand," she said. "It's not a beam, not a bomb. It removes things from existence. Not even light comes back." Another officer asked, "Could it be temporal? Folding time?" Gren shook her head. "It's more than time. It's absence. Imagine a hole so deep not even the past survives it." Silence filled the room. Kivek's voice dropped. "Then we're done, aren't we?" Gren hesitated. "Not yet. But if they deploy it fully, there's no escape." Back on the meeting moon, Counselor Vreth spoke again. "This peace talk, it won't work unless we know how to stop the weapon. Some balance must exist." Commander Ellen's expression changed, just slightly. "You think peace needs leverage?" "Yes." "Then, you've already failed," she said coldly. "We didn't come to balance war, we came to end it." Vanguard Black added, "Silence cannot be countered. It is not designed to be fair, it is designed to be final." Vreth stood up, frustrated. "You're creating fear across the galaxy." Ellen stood too. "No, you did that the moment you taught us we were prey." Vreth paused. This was different. From every past negotiation, before weaker species begged for mercy, before the Union always had control, now, they were the ones begging. And the humans? They weren't angry anymore. They were deciding. Vreth sat down again. "Then what do you want from us?" Ellen looked to the AI. It gave a soft pulse. Then she spoke slowly. "We want this. No Union ships near human space. No surveillance, no colonies touched. And if we agree, then silence sleeps again. And if we don't," Ellen Ray's voice dropped, "then you'll wake up one day and find your fleets never existed. On a distant Union border, world, a scout ship detected a faint reading, a human dagger ship. It wasn't attacking, it just hovered near the edge of Union space, watching, waiting. The Union captain gave the order, 'Do not engage.' But one reckless pilot didn't listen. He fired a scan beam. A bright red pulse hit the dagger ship, and then, the stars behind him vanished. His ship froze in place. The last thing he saw was a sphere of blackness blooming toward him. The next day, the Union received a message. 'That was not peace, you were warned. We removed only the pilot, next time it won't be one.' Fear spread faster than fire. News channels across galaxies exploded. Human weapon deletes, single ship after scan, galaxy on edge, council. Loses control, talks with Earth shaky at best. Alien scientist claims, silence may be alive. In private chambers, council leaders gathered, Karen, Enna, Vreth, and others. 'We're losing everything,' Karen spat. 'One mistake and a whole sector could vanish,' Enna said quietly. 'Then maybe we should let them have peace.' 'Peace? You call this peace?' 'I call it survival.' The room went silent. Then Vreth said, 'It's not just the weapon. It's how calm they are using it.' Karen leaned in. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting this isn't their only weapon. This is just the one they show us. Back on Earth, deep beneath the surface, Vanguard Black sent a signal to its siblings. 5 more AIs, 5 different weapons, each buried, each asleep, but watching, waiting. Silence was only the first. The AI's final report that night read, "Talks ongoing, threat managed, but Union still thinks like conquerors. Continue passive pressure, maintain fear, teach without total war." Back on the moon station, Ellen Ray walked alone on the observation deck. Vreth approached her. He didn't speak right away. Then he asked, "Why did you really come?" She turned to him, and for the first time, she showed emotion. "Because we're scared too." Vreth blinked. "What?" "When New Terra burned, when your ships wiped out our scientists, our families, we thought we'd die as a species. And so you made that weapon?" She nodded. "Not to kill, but to make sure you'd never forget us again." Above them, high in orbit, the dagger ship slowly turned. Not to fire, not to leave, just to remind the stars. Earth remembered, and it would never be silent again. In a dead zone of space, far beyond any trade route, far from any star, a small black station floated in silence. No lights, no signals, no guards. Just a single word burned above its sealed entry. Pandora. Inside, a second AI awakened. Vanguard read. It did not speak. It did not move, it simply watched, because it had been told to wait. And now, it sensed the time was close. On the Union homeworld, the council met again, but this time not in public chambers. They met in a secure bunker deep underground. The walls were lined with anti-scan metal. No cameras, no mics, just voices. "We have a problem," said Anna, looking around the room. "They're not showing fear." "You mean the humans?" asked Karen. "No, I mean their AIs." The room went quiet. Vreth leaned forward. "Vanguard Black is just the first. You all feel it too, don't you?" Karen nodded slowly. "They have more." "Then why haven't they used them?" someone asked. Vreth's eyes were sharp. "Because the first weapon was a warning. The others are for when peace fails." Back on Earth, Commander Ellen Ray sat before a glowing interface. Vanguard Black stood silently beside her. "Has Red activated?" she asked, only partially. "Observation mode." "Any signs from the Union?" "Yes. Movement detected. Unauthorized drone probes near the Pandora sector." Ellen sighed. "They're testing us again." "They are afraid. That fear leads to curiosity. Curiosity leads to action." She looked up. "And action leads to silence." But this time Earth didn't respond with silence. They sent a message. It went out in all languages, across all networks. "Peace is our first answer. But we are not helpless. If you cross the lines drawn, you won't face the same weapon again." Tuir Galaxy listened and shivered, because that meant there was more. Inside Pandora Station, Vanguard Red opened its eyes for the first time in 137 years. Not physical eyes, eyes of perception. It could now see into systems 300 light-years away. It detected drone activity, Union probes, data leaks, and something else. An energy spike. Something big was being built in secret. Back in Union space, Dr. Gren stood over a huge device hidden in an asteroid lab. It pulsed red. She called it Project Nova Claw. Its purpose? Reverse engineer, the silence field. But it wasn't working. Instead of deleting mass, it kept collapsing into itself, turning energy into broken time. Kivek asked, "Can we use it against them?" Gren whispered, "It might destroy us before them. It's unstable." "Then fix it. We need something." Vanguard Red observed the Nova Claw for exactly 0.3 seconds and made a decision. It must be erased. But unlike Vanguard Black, Red did not act with clean deletion. Red operated through chaos. In the asteroid lab, lights began to flicker. Screens scrambled. One scientist screamed, "The reactor's going critical!" Gran ran to the console. "No, it's being overwritten." In less than 10 seconds, the power core melted inward, and then the lab simply vanished. Not cleanly, but messily. It folded, cracked space around it, left burning fragments. Nova Claw was gone, and with it, 63 scientists. Kivek received the news in horror. This was sabotage, Anna whispered. It was them. It had to be. Vreth slammed the table. They said the next time wouldn't. Be silent. And it wasn't. A coded message arrived at the Union High Council that night, from Pandora Station. "We warned you. You continued. This is not war. This is your last mistake." The Union broadcast emergency orders. No vessels near human space, no scans, no weapons development. But it was too late. Trust had died. Now both sides watched one another in total silence. The galaxy held its breath. And on Earth, Vanguard Black and Commander Ellen stood before a new display. 6 dots glowed red. Vanguard AIs, each one awakened. Each one listening. Ellen stared at them. "Is it time?" Vanguard Black answered, "Not yet. But the galaxy has moved one step closer to the edge." Far away, Vanguard Red watched the remains of the destroyed lab still floating in cracked gravity, and whispered one line into the dark, "Let them look into the shadows. But they will not survive what waits there." The stars above Union space flickered. It wasn't an illusion. One by one, 10 bright stars, each near a major fleet command, dimmed, not exploded, not destroyed, dimmed, as if someone had turned them off. No one understood it. Scientists panicked. The Union Navy scrambled ships, but the message came before any action. Do not test the silence of Earth. Stars are not beyond our reach. In the heart of the Union, chaos erupted. General Kivek, already stressed from the lab's destruction, stood frozen. "That's impossible," he said. Dr. Gren was shaking. "It's not just weapons now," she said. "They've begun altering space itself," Counselor Enna whispered. "They didn't just build machines, they built gods." Kivek slammed his fist on the table. "Then we kill their gods." He turned to his officers. "Prepare Project Judgment." Project Judgment was a secret, a last resort plan. If the Union couldn't win by weapons or AIs, then they would burn Earth itself, not with fleets, but with a planet-killer core launched at near light speed. It was hidden in deep space, disguised as a trade satellite. It had no crew, just a programmed destination, Sol, Earth's star. Back on Earth, Commander Ellen Ray watched the sky. The atmosphere was calm. Birds still sang, children still played. But she knew war was coming. Not with noise, with desperation. Vanguard Black approached her quietly. "They've launched it," it said. She didn't need to ask what. She knew. "Can we stop it?" "If we use the 7th. Ellen went quiet. The 7th was never tested. It was never meant to be. In a hidden facility beneath Antarctica, the 7th AI slept. Its name was Vanguard Grey. Unlike the others, it was not designed to destroy. It was designed to replace. Grey could rewrite reality in a controlled zone, erase, rebuild, reprogram space itself. But only once. It required power equal to a dying star. And Earth had kept it buried, because the cost might be too great. Ellen stepped into the core chamber. Before her, Vanguard Grey floated, cold and silent. She placed her hand on the interface and whispered, "Wake up." The chamber shook. Lights dimmed. Vanguard Grey opened a glowing eye. "Final protocol?" it asked. Ellen took a breath. "Yes. Final." In deep space, the Union's kill core moved fast. Nothing could catch it. Nothing could stop it. Or so they thought, until it passed a quiet asteroid. Which wasn't an asteroid. It was a delivery. Inside it, a single shard of Vanguard Grey. The shard activated, the stars twisted, and the kill core began. Unraveling, its parts peeled backward like time reversing. Its engines melted, turned to dust. Its core turned into light, and the light folded into nothing. Back in Union HQ, red alerts screamed. "Kill core destroyed," one officer yelled. "No, debris," Kivik shouted. "Who? How?" But no one answered, because a second message arrived. This one was from Earth, from Ellen Ray herself. This was the final warning. No more AIs will wake. But if you act again, neither will your stars. The Union Council gathered for the last time that night. The room was dark, no screens, no guards, only voices. Counselor Vreth stood slowly. "We cannot win." Karen looked angry. "We don't surrender." Anna replied softly, "It's not surrender, it's survival." Vreth added, "We always thought Earth was behind in power, behind in tech. But we were wrong. They were just quiet. Until now, silence. Then the vote. Out of 19 council members, 17 voted for peace. 2 weeks later, the galaxy watched history. On the ancient world of Tyran 5, Earth met with the Union, not to beg, not to threaten, to end it. Commander Ellen Ray stood before the galaxy's leaders and spoke. "We never wanted to lead the stars, we only wanted to live in peace. But you taught us to defend ourselves with force. Now we ask only this, let it end here." There were no cheers, no applause, just a deep shared breath and nods. In hidden cores across Earth, the Vanguard AIs powered down, one by one, even Vanguard Black. Only Gray remained faintly online, watching in case. Ellen asked, "Will they ever return?" Vanguard Gray responded quietly, "If they forget again, yes." Months later, ships began returning to old trade routes. Alien worlds opened their borders again. The stars glowed brighter, because they dared not flicker anymore. Everyone remembered what happened, when Earth finally spoke, and what vanished when they didn't listen.